The IPL is happening in 6 days. The return of the IPL to end off what was so far a very exciting tournament. Now, we know that it's happening just before the World Cup, so I thought that why don't we discuss what the IPL does for the preparation of South African cricketers, particularly going into the World Cup? Will it help them or will it be a detriment to some and others? We're going to discuss that. We also got some news recently about JP Duminy joining the Proteas staff as a consultant for the World Cup. And we also heard about Vernon Philander recently joining up with the PCB. So we're going to discuss those two appointments as well and what they can add to the sides. All of that on today's daily show. But first, to all of the guys that are new to this channel, and the first time that you are viewing this show, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell for all future videos. I'm also going to ask you to go right ahead and subscribe to the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine. A monthly edition every single month, straight to your inbox, 100% free, all back issues too. So go ahead, click the I, the top of the screen, and you can get that right now. So let's get into today's video. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid Mohidin. This is my co-host Aditya, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, as I said in the intro, we're going to be discussing the IPL. Will it be a benefit to the Proteas players, or can it be a detriment to some? Let's get straight into it, Aditya. We've heard recently that Aiden Markram has been selected. He's going to be playing for the Punjab Kings. That's an excellent signing on my part. I think Aiden's game is going to be taken to the next level, particularly against spin, playing in those conditions. It's going to be the perfect preparation. What I like about it as well is the pressure's off him to just go ahead and be free. He can just go and play his game and get as much momentum leading into the World Cup. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm saying it, the more excited I'm getting. We also know about Rassie van der Dussen that also will be hopefully involved and play some matches, of course. I'm hoping that he will play matches. We never know. Recently, I think there's quite a few English guys that pulled out because of the whole thing with the test match that happened in the final test. So possibly Rassie will be one of the guys to also get some momentum. He's also a guy that thrives off momentum and regular performances. So pressure's off. They can just go out there and perform. And I hope the coaches tell them that too. I hope the coaches go ahead and say, like, guys, just play with freedom. Just enjoy your game. Play your game. That's what we're going to need for us to be successful as a team. Now, we also know about the regulars like KG Rabada, Anrik Nokia. We've got the Bray Shamsi as well now involved. David Miller, I hope he can also get some freedom and get some momentum going, as well as Lungi Ngidi, who had no part to play in this tour. Actually, he left early. So, very excited about the tournament from a batsman's point of view and Lungi Ngidi's point of view. I'm just a bit worried about our prime bowlers, the likes of KG Rabada and Anich Nokia. I just hope that they can go through this tournament scotch-free and without any injuries. I really hope that that takes place. But from your perspective, as someone that has supported the IPL for so many years, Aditya, what can the IPL give South Africa's cricketers going into this World Cup?
The IPL is an excellent opportunity for South African cricketers to really get a hit out in the same conditions that the World Cup is going to be played in. They're going to be playing under high pressure conditions, possibly higher pressure than the World Cup. I hate to say that, but it is quite likely because this is the second half of the IPL, and after the first half of the IPL where Mumbai, Chennai, RCB, and Delhi were the top teams, it's going to be the second half of the IPL, but all the teams are going to have to rebuild the momentum. So for teams that haven't done well, this is an opportunity for them to really get a few wins under the belt and stake a claim for that Final Four playoffs. For the South African players, and particularly Aiden Markram, who was recently signed by Punjab Kings, it's, as you said, it's an opportunity for him to really shine without there being too much pressure on him. In the South African team, Aiden Markram is one of the stars, the the team and the country expect performances from him. But here with Punjab, he's in a team that already has a bunch of stars. In KR Rahul, for example, the pressure is mainly on him to perform because he's leading the team and he's one of the world's leading T20 cricketers. But more than anything, I think this will benefit South Africa because they're going to be battle hardened before they start playing the World Cup, and this is an opportunity for them to get into some sort of form. So I do hope that they get game time. Tabriz Shamsi, I think he's riding a wave, and long may that continue. Rassim Dusan, I hope he gets some game time for the Rajasthan Royals. David Miller had a good tournament before the IPL was called off earlier this year. So we're hoping that he gets into some sort of touch as well, because as we've identified before, it's that 5, 6, and 7 uh, position where the finishers haven't had much of an opportunity to showcase their skills. But all in all, I think the IPL can only benefit South African cricketers and the team in general before the World Cup begins.
Now, only one thing that I disagree with that on what you said is the fact that it's going to be a higher pressure situation than the World Cup. I can understand why that may be the case for Indian players, but I just don't think that foreign players take the IPL, I mean, as seriously from a personal point of view. I think it is there for them to yes, they do care about it and they do want to win and perform, but I just don't think it's as close to their heart as some may think. I don't know. That's just me as a purist of the game. I want to believe that the best players in the world play at the World Cup because every single team has world class bowlers in every single team, no matter where you go. Whereas it's kind of spread out a little bit in the IPL, but I can understand where you're coming from. It's almost like the UEFA Champions League of cricket. You know what I mean? So where some people do say that the pressure at the UEFA Champions League is at a different level. I just think the mere fact that you're playing for your country and representing your nation, that's the type of pressure that nothing else can mimic. That's just my point of view on that. Ultimately, the Indian players are playing for the pride of their nation as well when they're playing in the IPL, because the IPL is a representative of their nation. Ultimately, it's their tournament, it's the country's tournament. So I can understand why you would say that from an Indian point of view. Let's move on. I just want to talk about the coaching staff that has been appointed at certain countries for the World Cup. We know that JP Duminy is coming into the South African setup. I think that was an interesting appointment, seeing that he doesn't really have much coaching experience already. He just got appointed as the Lions batting consultant and the batting coach. So, and I mean, he's barely been in that job and already he's getting a national consultant call up. I think that it is a good move from South Africa's point of view. JP Duminy generally has been pretty decent in World Cups. I mean, we know he got a hat trick. So I think what he will add, particularly from a knowledge point of view, to the likes of Aiden Markram, I think, particularly. And even I think Kesha, from a leadership point of view, I think he can add a lot of value in the dressing room from that perspective. We always talk about South Africa not having experience in the dressing room. Adding a consultant like JP Duminy adds that experience to that. He's seen different generations of South African cricket. He's been involved with a lot with that transition from the previous legends to the next generation of superstars. He was right there. He also is the most decorated T20 international player for South Africa from a national caps point of view and amount of runs scored for the country. So I think JP Duminy being added to the setup, I think that was a very good move from a consultancy point of view. I would have had an issue if he was selected as a batting coach suddenly out of nowhere. Then I would have had a little bit of an issue, because I feel that he needs to earn the right to be able to coach the Proteas, like many people would actually say about Boucher too. But ultimately, I think that we need to focus on the team right now, supporting the team as much as possible. Let's start with JP Duminy before we move on to Vernon Philander, Aditya. What are your thoughts on JP Duminy's appointment as a consultant for South Africa?
JP Dumini's credentials as a T20 player for South Africa are unrivaled, and as many would say that he is one of South Africa's greatest ever T20 players. He was also a very good IPL player, by the way. He was always in demand by IPL franchises because they always saw this leadership element in him, and he was always perceived to be an excellent communicator in the teams that he played for South Africa as well as the IPL. And Faf du Plessis has stated on the record that he often relied on JP Duminy to communicate with younger players in the team when they were selected to ensure that they're comfortable and so on. So there's no doubt that he's a fantastic communicator. The players are comfortable with him, and they can perhaps share their concerns about their game with JP in a way that they might not be able to with Boucher, because he's head coach after all and also a selector. But what I really like about JP Dumini's appointment is that when he was a player, and he had a very successful career batting, around 4, 5, 6. So, given that that's a concern for South Africa at the moment, and they're trying to figure out the roles of batters who are playing at 5, 6, and 7, JP Dumini's addition is going to be beneficial for the team. It may offer more clarity to players like Rassie van Tussen, who is now playing at 5, David Miller at 6, and possibly Dwayne Pretorius at 7. So I think JP Dumini's presence will benefit these three cricketers the most, and let's see how it goes. You know, I have no doubt that he'll do a good job.
Yeah, I was about to say that actually, that switch, he might help Rassie van der Dussen with that switch in his mental, maybe a mental blockage there to help him push on quicker. And I think he might be able to help him with that switch because he's also not someone that maybe is considered a big hitting player. He hits a lot of sixes, he can hit a lot of sixes, but he might have to approach it a lot different. It's more about timing for him than power with both Rassie and with JP Duminy. But let's move on to Vernon Philander. It was another surprise for me, I think, because of the lack of coaching experience again. But PCB obviously getting him involved over there. What is your thoughts on Vernon? I mean, they have a very good bowling attack, but maybe Vernon adds the one attribute that they actually need. And especially when you have a young bowling attack, it's accuracy and consistency. That one little bit of extra quality that they can add to the dressing room might just be able to help Pakistan take that extra step just into a different territory. What's your thoughts on Vernon Philander?
That was an interesting appointment, and I certainly wasn't expecting it because I didn't know that Vernon Philander had coaching ambitions in the first place. But clearly, that is not the case. In saying that, Vernon Philander is an interesting appointment for Pakistan. Because as we know, there's a famous expression about Pakistan that you don't know which Pakistani team is going to appear on the day. So perhaps Vernon Philander's consistency through the course of his career may guide the Pakistani bowlers, who we know are exceptionally talented. And he's in partnership with Matthew Hayden, who's come in as batting coach. Again, no idea that he had coaching aspirations either. So let's see how that partnership goes. I was pleasantly surprised to see the two of them working together with the Pakistan team. But yeah, I'm happy for both of them.
Awesome. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell, smash the like button and the share as shown at the bottom of the screen, as well as press the eye on the top of the screen to get your latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every single issue will come directly into your inbox, 100% free. All back issues you'll have access to too. So go ahead and do that right away if you want to support us further. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another review show. Take care, everybody.